Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Friday, April 9, 2021. Deutsche Welle report. Amazon workers vote against union in Alabama. Warehouse workers in Alabama with the online retail giant, Amazon, voted against forming a trade union by a margin of nearly 2-1. A tally of votes showed on Friday. A total of 1,798 warehouse workers voted against forming a union, while 738 voted in favor of it. The vote hands a major victory to the firm that has faced criticism over its treatment of employees. But labor representatives from retail, wholesale and department store unions said they would challenge the result.
Fox report. Volcano eruption in Caribbean prompts mass evacuation during popular vacation week. The Soufriere Volcano on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent erupted Friday after authorities ordered the mandatory emergency evacuations of thousands. Soufriere has moved into an explosive state. Plumes up to 8 kilometers. The country's National Emergency Management Organization tweeted Friday, "Please leave the red zone immediately." It urged just a few minutes later. Soufriere has erupted. Ash fall recorded as far as Argyle International Airport.
Fox report. Prince Philip remembered. Boris Johnson leads tributes to Duke of Edinburgh. World leaders are paying tribute to Prince Philip, who died Friday at the age of 99 at Windsor Castle. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson spoke of how the Duke of Edinburgh, Queen Elizabeth II's husband of 73 years, inspired the lives of countless young people, and gave thanks for his extraordinary life and work, in a heartfelt tribute at Downing Street in Westminster Friday. With flags lowered to half-mast, Johnson said the news of the Duke's death was received with great sadness, and honored his memory as one of the last survivors to have served in the Second World War.
BBC report. South Korea beauty brand sorry for paper bottle label fail. Last year Innisfree launched a green tea beauty product in what it labeled a paper bottle. The new look product was released as part of the brand's initiative to reduce the use of plastic packaging. But this week, one customer questioned the product's eco-friendly credentials. In recent days, the post has been shared widely in South Korea, prompting criticism of Innisfree and debate about the labeling of purportedly green products.
Fox report. Former Oklahoma attorney, boyfriend charged with murdering his ex-girlfriend, ex's parents. An Oklahoma defense attorney fell in love with her felonious client, then allegedly helped him execute his ex-girlfriend and her parents to try and bury a domestic violence case against him, according to prosecutors. Keegan Leah Kelly Harrows, a 38-year-old former Oklahoma City attorney, was defending Barry Rowland Titus II, 40, in a case involving his ex-girlfriend Tiffany Icor, 43, when she and her parents were shot to death in their home in 2019.
Al Jazeera report. Video shows police beating Israeli politician in Jerusalem. An Israeli lawmaker has said that police beat him while he took part in a demonstration against a Jewish settlement in Israeli-annexed East Jerusalem. Ofer Kassif, a Jewish member of the mostly Arab Joint List Party, was attending a protest against the expansion of a Jewish settlement in Sheikh Jarrah, a Palestinian neighborhood of occupied East Jerusalem. "They started to beat me. They broke my glasses, they went crazy," Kassif said on Friday in the Channel 13 footage.
Al Jazeera report. Biden forms commission to study U.S. Supreme Court reform. U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday ordered the creation of a bipartisan commission to study potential reforms to the Supreme Court, including whether to expand the number of justices, a key goal of progressive Democrats, as some question whether he was backtracking on his decades-long stance against packing courts. In an executive order, Biden said the commission would tackle the merits and legality of specific high court reform proposals.
Deutsche Welle report. Germany. Federal government plans new powers over states to battle virus surge. The German federal government is planning to pass new legislation that will allow it to take control from states and impose uniform coronavirus restrictions across the country. Deputy government spokeswoman Ulrich Demmer announced on Friday. Demmer told reporters in Berlin that the country's 16 state premiers had agreed to the new legislation in an effort to more effectively fight Germany's current surge in COVID-19 cases.
Fox report. VA father of 3 gives scathing speech with Fairfax County schools still not fully open. A Virginia father on Wednesday gave a scathing speech before the Fairfax County Public School Board, urging the board to reopen schools 5 days a week after nearly a year of closures due to COVID-19. FCPS announced last week that it would reopen Prec 12 schools 4 days a week throughout April and would open 5 days a week next fall. But Rory Cooper, managing director of Purple Strats and father of 3, says that because of the school district's cafeteria rules, his kids are only back to in-person learning 2 days a week.
CNN report. What happens next? The plan for Prince Philip's mourning period and funeral. The death of Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II, on Friday has set in motion a carefully orchestrated, days-long event that will culminate with his funeral. Plans for a major royal death are made years in advance, though details are kept fiercely private, and the coronavirus restrictions currently in place across the United Kingdom mean some aspects of the strategy will have to be altered.
Al Jazeera report. U.S. federal court to decide fate of Dakota Access Pipeline permit. A hearing scheduled for Friday is set to determine whether the Dakota Access oil pipeline should be allowed to continue operating without a key permit while the United States Army Corps of Engineers, USACE, conducts an environmental review of the project. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg wants the USACE to explain how it expects to proceed without a federal permit granting easement for the $3.8 billion pipeline to cross beneath Lake Oahe, a reservoir along the Missouri River that is maintained by the USACE.
CNN report. Canada's third wave on track to become its worst yet as hospitalization spike. Canada's third wave of the pandemic is now more serious than the previous two, as hospitalizations and critical care admissions spike and the vaccine rollout is unlikely to change things over the next few weeks. The end is definitely in sight, but we're not there yet. This third wave is more serious and we need to hang in there for another few weeks to make sure that we can flatten that curve, drop those numbers down again, to give a chance for vaccines to take hold, said Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau during a press conference in Ottawa Friday.
CNN report. Starbucks experimental new cup costs extra, but it's worth it. Starbucks is launching an experimental Borrow a Cup program at select locations in its hometown, Seattle. The program is part of Starbucks' aim to make its cups more sustainable, and it will kick off as a 2-month trial in 5 Seattle stores. Customers at those stores will have an option to receive their drinks in a cup they can use again. Here's how it works. Customers will order their drinks in a reusable cup and pay a $1 refundable deposit.
BBC report. Derek Chauvin trial. Police restraint killed George Floyd, expert says. Forensic pathologist Dr. Lindsay Thomas said, the activities of the law enforcement officers resulted in Mr. Floyd's death, from lack of oxygen. Mr. Chauvin, 45, was filmed kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes during his arrest last May. The ex-officer is on trial for murder and has denied the charges against him. The footage of Mr. Chauvin, who was white, with his knee on African-American Mr. Floyd's neck sparked global protests against racism.
BBC report. Save our wine. Big freeze spells disaster for French vineyards. Temperatures have dipped to record lows in some areas, and farmers have used every method they can to save their crops. Agriculture Minister Julien de Normandie says he will declare an agricultural disaster. The deep frosts have destroyed buds on grapevines in the legendary vineyards of Bordeaux, Burgundy, the Languedoc and the Rhône Valley. It's a national phenomenon, warned Jérôme Despy, head of the FNSEA Farmers Union, who said these frosts were worse than any he could remember.
CNN report. Biden asks Congress for 16% increase in non-defense federal spending. President Joe Biden asked Congress for $769 billion in federal outlays on discretionary, non-defense programs in his first formal spending request Friday, a 16% increase from former President Donald Trump's last budget. The funding request for fiscal year 2022 comes on the heels of the passage of his $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill and as Congress begins to consider Biden's $2.3 trillion infrastructure and jobs package.
Deutsche Welle report. Rapper DMX dies aged 50 following heart attack. The U.S. rapper DMX, Real name Earl Simmons. Died. Aged 50. At a New York hospital on Friday. According to a statement released by his family. The statement said he had been a warrior who fought till the very end. Earl's music inspired countless fans across the world, and his iconic legacy will live on forever. He loved his family with all of his heart, and we cherish the times we spent with him. The statement said.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.